Hi, this is Christian, and welcome to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. Coming your way, Divisional round game predictions. The Elite 8 of NFL teams, the Divisional round, is finally here, and it's the number 6 seed Los Angeles Rams at 11-6 as they travel to Lambeau Field to take on the number 1 seeded Green Bay Packers at 13-3. Now, we know the Packers were coming off of a bye here and should be fresh and ready to go. But how about the Los Angeles Rams and their performance on both sides of the ball? And you can even throw in special teams as well. They got a big-time fumble recovery, which set up a touchdown and cemented the game as they took a 30-13 lead over the Hawks in an eventual 30-20 win. Now, for the Rams defense, it was definitely the headline and the show for that NFC West clash against Seattle. They had a pick six. Darius Williams, the 5'9 cornerback out of UAB, had a big-time play as he pick six Russell Wilson ran at the distance and gave the Rams a lead that they would not relinquish for the rest of the game. Now, for the Rams to win this against the Packers, their offense is going to have to be productive. Cam Akers had a great performance against Seattle, but I'm sure the Packers will definitely be after him as obviously there's been some quarterback issues. Jared Goff played pretty well against Seattle despite his broken thumb, and obviously we know about John Wolford if you watch the game, as he was taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons, but he got hit in the head hard by Seahawks safety Jamal Adams, and now Sean McVay is calling it a day-to-day stinger, but you don't want to mess around with neck injuries, and so Jared Goff may play, Blake Bortles may end up being the backup there, but we'll just have to see as the week progresses. Now, I do think the Rams can win this game. It's going to have to be on the backs of their defense once again. Now, Aaron Donald is dealing with a rib contusion, but it looks like he'll give it a go later in the week. And for the Packers, well, they should be healthy and ready to go. Devontae Adams will definitely be the headliner, and if the Rams face him against Jalen Ramsey, it should be a great show. Get your popcorn ready. Now, who's going to come out victorious in this one? Well, it's just so tough to go against the MVP, presumed MVP, Aaron Rodgers, who's only thrown 5 picks on the year. And for the Rams to win this, they're going to have to get after Rodgers. And the Packers have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They've only allowed 21 sacks on the year. And so overall, I just feel like the Packers, they may win this ugly, but I just can't see them losing against the Rams here unless Jared Goff is able to play a heck of a game. So I do think it will be close, but ultimately the Packers get the job done. A premier matchup at quarterback as the number 5 seeded Baltimore Ravens at 12-5 travel to Bills Stadium to take on number 2 seeded Buffalo at 14-3. Now, the Ravens came off of a very impressive performance as they avenged last year's divisional round playoff defeat, beating Tennessee this time 20-13, as Marcus Peters had a game-ending and sealing interception off of Ryan Tannehill. And for Buffalo, it was very interesting as the game was really back and forth. The Colts, honestly, I felt like played a better game in the first half, but Buffalo made the plays necessary. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen played near mistake-free football. It was kind of interesting at the end, but Buffalo finally got their first playoff win in over 25 years. So now Lamar Jackson, with his "I can't win the playoff game" mantra off of his back by the media, and now the Ravens can kind of relax a little bit and perform at the level they know they can. So I honestly think this game will be extremely close. It wouldn't surprise me if either one of these teams won. For the Ravens, it's going to be their rushing attack. Of course, they have J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards in the backfield, but it's Lamar Jackson who can use his legs and really make things interesting. And for the Bills, they can do it all. Josh Allen can move with his legs, and we saw that in magnitude against the Indianapolis Colts. But they also have Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley, and we even saw Gabriel Davis make some nice toe-tapping catches on the sideline. And they just have a lot of great weapons. Of course, John Brown coming back from his injury, and I mean, the Bills are so tough, but the Ravens defense can really force them maybe into a mistake or two and make this game interesting. So who do I have winning this game? Well, it's really hard, but I had Buffalo making it far in the postseason, and I'm not backing down from that now. So I have the Bills taking the game and winning it in a close one. The nameless gray faces? I don't think so. The number 6 seeded Cleveland Browns at 12-5 have done it. They've won their first playoff game since the 1990s. What a win for them against the Steelers. But the reward, a trip to Arrowhead Stadium to perhaps take on the best team in all of football in the number 1 seeded Kansas City Chiefs, who come in rested with a 14-2 record. Now for the Browns, what a performance for them. I mean, I don't think anyone expected them to race out to a 28-0 lead against the Steelers, their hated AFC North foe, and knocking them out of the playoffs. Their defense played well in the first half, and Baker Mayfield, give props to him. He played mistake-free football, found the open man, found Landry, found the tight ends, Austin Hooper, and David Njoku, and a bunch of other players. And of course, the rushing attack was instrumental in their key upset over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb ran wild and even caught a screen pass late to cement that game. And the Browns are hot right now. Who knows? But we know the Kansas City Chiefs, with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and of course superstar quarterback and probably the best quarterback in all of football, Patrick Mahomes, is sure to put on a good show. Now, the Browns should get some of their COVID players back, and of course, head coach Kevin Stefanski should be back as well to help this team as well for this divisional round matchup. But I wouldn't count out the Browns. I know a lot of people are going to roll with the Chiefs here, but the Browns are looking good, and they're playing with house money. I mean, no matter what happens from this point on, this is a successful season for the Cleveland Browns, don't get me wrong. But I don't think Browns fans are going to just settle for that. They want to upset Kansas City, and may I even say Super Bowl? I didn't think I'd say Browns and Super Bowl in the same sentence, but they have earned my respect. But who's going to win this game? Well, it's pretty tough to go against Kansas City, and although I think the Browns will put up a really good fight, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they pulled off the upset the way they played against the Steelers, I just think that the Chiefs are too complete of a team, and overcoming Patrick Mahomes is a tough battle, especially playing in Arrowhead. So I got to roll with Kansas City to win this one. For the last matchup on Divisional Round Weekend, it's the number 5 seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 12-5, traveling to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, to take on the Saints at 13-4. Now, for the Saints, it was a pretty comfortable win, as the Bears really never got anything going on offense. Their defense looked great. Both teams' defense looked great, the Bears and Saints. But it was the Saints' defense that really dominated, and they're going to need more of that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose defense didn't look so great against Taylor Heinicke, a relatively unknown quarterback, and the Washington football team. And for the Buccaneers, the big concern for them isn't their offense. We already know Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, 2 great running backs, and of course Tom Brady can really put up a great show. But it's their defense, who they've kind of had up and down performances this year. And against Taylor Heinicke, they should have played a lot better. Now, you could draw that up to the fact that they just didn't have a lot of film on him, but still, for a guy taking classes at ODU, Old Dominion University, just a couple of weeks ago, that has to be a little bit concerning when you have Drew Brees and company coming to play them. And the Buccaneers, they have not played well against the Saints, but maybe the third time's the charm for them. Can they pull off the upset? Well, I'm not so sure about that. The Saints are probably the most complete team in the NFC. Maybe you could make an argument for the Packers, but with the defense, the great run game with Kamara and Latavius Murray, and of course Drew Brees, very efficient quarterback. Taysom Hill can make some plays. The Saints, I feel like they know this is most likely Drew Brees' last season, and they're going to go out with a bang if they do fall in this game. They're going to give it their all. So who's going to come out with this win? Well, I do think Tampa is a much better team than the first 2 times they played New Orleans, but if you've shown that you can't beat a team and you're not even competitive in those matchups, it's really hard for me to pick Tampa against New Orleans. and that's why I'm rolling with Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the New Orleans Saints to advance to the NFC Championship game. For Super Wild Card Weekend, we had a great show. It started out with the Buffalo Bills taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers played a solid game, but ultimately it was Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills coming out on top 27-24. Then, as we talked about earlier, it was a great performance by the Rams defense as they were able to shut down Russell Wilson in a 30-20 win at Lumen Field. Then the nightcap, Taylor Heineke, a really unknown quarterback, played admirably for the Washington football team, but it wasn't enough as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to win their first playoff game since the 2002 season. They won that 31-23. Then on Sunday, it was Lamar Jackson getting his first playoff win, and it was 20-13 in that one as Tannehill threw a crucial fourth quarter interception. Then the Nickelodeon game with a lot of slime as the Saints were able to win a pretty ugly game, 21-9 over the Bears. And then finally, it was perhaps the shocker of the playoffs so far as the Cleveland Browns, yes, the Browns, won their first playoff game since the 1990s. They won that 48-37 in a high-scoring affair.